Hello, my name is Slush, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about marketing concepts regarding game development and talk about strategies and digital marketing ideas that I've created or researched and that I want to present to you all. Note, this is not professional advice. Please talk to a professional for that matter. If you like this video, please subscribe. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, let's try and make this as simple as possible. What is social media clutter? Social media clutter, what I like to call it at least, is the clutter of a social media account directed at multiple niches that have little to no overlapping areas, for example, hockey and game development. While there are people who like hockey video games, that limits my scope drastically of people who would want to follow my Twitter account, or if people follow me for a certain hobby, they could grow frustrated and either mute my account or unfollow because I talk about the other hobby, which isn't as interesting to them. In fact, it's not just clutter, it can be spam as well. Posting 10 times in 20 minutes could result in negative effects from some followers unfollowing or meeting you, which could limit your reach, of course, for your projects, but as well change or create a reputation of spamming. Of course, the sample size is very low, but if you do spam consistently, people will pick up on it. But going back to social media clutter, first off, it's a very normal thing. I would say most people talk about what they want, when they want, with little to no repercussions, because it is a personal account that doesn't mean much. But what happens when you have a business or have a clear objective of reaching a certain target audience, and you, as your business, tweet from your personal Twitter account? Not only does your brand voice become skewed, but people following you for your personal tweets are getting hit with business-related posts they aren't the target market for, and the people who are loyal fans of your business can begin annoyed because they don't enjoy the type of personal tweets you publish, which could range from entertainment, political, or random cat photo issues. Now, the question we all want to hear: how do you limit Twitter clutter for your followers, and how do you come up with a system of funneling the right consumers to your varying content? Think of it like coding, where you have variables which are containers, which are in the containers of methods, which are in the containers of classes. The classes can read and process everything, while the methods only funnel in a section of the overall script, and variables only contain a specific piece of information. This same analogy can be related to Twitter accounts. There are three Gamedev Twitter accounts that I find to be very useful: your personal account, your company account, and your game account. Now, you don't need to use all three. A lot of successful game devs manage only one perfectly fine, like Concerned Ape, though organizing different content on respective Twitter accounts I find to be more organizationally sound. Your personal account can be whatever you want. Let it be a jumbled mesh of hobbies or interests that, if you want a game dev personal account, sticking to game dev would be beneficial. The company account relates to what your game's name will be under when it says developer on the Steam page. While that may not be the case, think of the company account as a more professional account, communicating with your other game Twitter profiles, or giving company information consumers may want, or shareholders if you're really fairly big. Finally, the third type of Twitter profile is the game profile, where you primarily market your game. Each game, another Twitter account. Now, with those types of Twitter profiles set up, you can now use those Twitter profiles to communicate with one another by retweeting, quote tweet, or apply to your other Twitter accounts in a proper manner. Saying you made breakfast on your personal account won't warrant a company Twitter account retweet most of the time, but saying you had a busy day of game dev might warrant communication. Now, consumers and networkers, the two forms of people that can follow you on Twitter, which I talked about in a previous video, can pick up and choose what they want to listen from you. If I enjoy your game, but find your personal tweets indifferent, I have the ability to only follow your game account. The indie company, Flow Studio, utilizes this strategy by splitting up into three accounts. They have their company, their game, and their employees' personal accounts all separated, but open the door for cross-communication. Smaller indie devs you may know from your circles also use forms of this. For example, Endeavor Games, Ben, has two separate Twitter profiles regarding more personal tweets, and then a company/game dev personal Twitter hybrid he uses as well. As you can see, he too retweets appropriate tweets back and forth to avoid clutter from followers who only follow for certain reasons. Now, you do not need to do what I am saying. If you're just starting out or a smaller indie dev, maybe you're solo and want to continue being solo for the rest of your career, you can live off of one Twitter like Concerned Ape. Again, you can talk about whatever you want, but to avoid clutter, create organized Twitter accounts, I feel is an important step, especially when you begin to grow. So if you need to onboard people for work, voices speak separately instead of jumbled around and stay organized. This is different when you make a company Twitter account. That means all your voices are together as one. The way your brand, your game, and yourself talk online need to be separate at the minimum. A large pillar in marketing is personal relations. And if you have a hard time facilitating that by your own organization, people can become confused and uninterested.